Arizona, and we've got thunderstorms and lightning going on here, and yeah, flash flooding too. So I just want to be careful, I guess, of driving around. That was not a thing in the Bay. We'll say that. Okay, but yeah, the Bay has its own set of problems. I'll just say that. It's like everywhere else. Okay. So yeah, the headphones can allow you to listen to your music in a way that won't disturb other people. You know, everyone has a different taste in music, and your music, by putting your headphones in, you can enjoy your music without potentially bothering other people, especially if you're in a public place with a lot of other people. Some music is very, I would say, has wide appeal, like Beatles. Who else? Like, maybe Rolling Stones. In a modern sense, like Coldplay. You know, those kinds of bands that it just seems like everyone likes. But yeah, headphones are a good way to go. Okay, choose your music. I'll start reading. Thank you for listening to my intro. Choose your music. If you decide on something you know and love, try to overcome the possibility of overfamiliarity by hearing something new that you've never noticed before. See panel far right to help you with this exercise. It can be easier to be more curious about a track when it's less familiar. So this could be the time to engage with that new album someone's been raving about. And remember, this is about enjoying music. Any music from rap to, I'll do my best here, Rachmaninoff, 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 I assume a classical Russian composer, I want to say. And death metal to Debussy, classical pianist. I believe he's responsible for Clair de la Lune, French, I want to say. I'm not like mega cultured when it comes to certain music, but some music I recognize. There's no pressure to unearth the slowed down beats of relaxation songs. Take a mindful approach. Treat it in much the same way as you would any other activity that you might approach in a mindful way. Walking is one example. This might involve 2 minutes of really looking at the things around you, followed by 2 of really listening to the sounds you hear, a couple focusing on smells, and 2 on sensations to do with touch. Where am I? Okay, here we go. Such as the feel of wind, sun, or rain on your face. You just do that right now. Just picture that sensation of the warmth of the sun, a cool breeze softly grazing your skin. The perhaps cold patter of rain droplets making contact with you. You can actually hear some outside. Those thunderstorms. Of course, with music, you're only really interested in the listening part. So first of all, close your eyes. Then take a similar approach to the walking scenario. Here focusing on the different components that make a contribution to the whole sound. For most tracks, 2 minutes on each will be too long. So you could concentrate instead for 30 seconds. on the guitar, then the vocal, then the bass, then the drums, and then on the other elements. Finally, take time to relax your focus to take in the song as a whole. I think that's a pretty interesting take on how to enjoy a song. Identifying those different components that go into that song sometimes can be very fun to do. It's like if I'm listening carefully, it's like, oh, there's the vocal, there's the backing vocal, there's the bass, there's the drums. What else do I hear? Oh, there's an electric guitar. Some songs get really fancy and they have like saxophone in them. And it can be fun sometimes just to identify what type of instrument is making the sound. Of course, let's see. Yes, and then take in the entire song. Enjoy it. Just as with mindful meditation, the idea is to be curious from second to second and bar to bar, just as you're curious about each in-breath and out-breath. Gently note what you hear. Is the music soft or hard? Does it build or dip, or is it repetitive? Is it dense or minimalist? Quiet or loud? Like oftentimes you can just focus in on the tempo. Is it high energy song or is it a low energy song? Some types of songs better match certain types of moods. Does it build? Quiet or loud? Luxurious or Spartan? Dexterous or simple? Remember that it's also supposed to be about the relaxation and enjoyment, not an exam. So the focus should be light, soft, and effortless. Don't be too hard on yourself if your mind drifts. When it does, bring your focus back to the music, just as you would to the breath when meditating. Likewise, if the music stirs certain emotions, note them and return your attention to what you're hearing in the moment. Sometimes music also helps us connect to certain types of emotions. I remember listening to Omaha. I think I brought this up. It's one of my favorite songs. I heard it a few years ago. I think 2014 or 2015. For County Crows Somewhere Under Wonderland tour, I saw them in Phoenix. And that song, like, when I heard it live, it was a very powerful experience. Like, very emotional. Get right to the heart of matters. Sorry guys, I'm trying to clear like my ear. I think it's got like water in it still. The heart that matters more. Like that song. Just amazing live. The live music experience. Gigs and festivals are more important ways of consuming music than they've ever been. They were, of course, put on pause as a direct result of the coronavirus pandemic situation. A lot of live shows got canceled or postponed indefinitely. I think that with several things opening in the direction that the health situation is going, we will start to see more tours, more live shows, and people will be able to experience live music again. I mean, we've had music online and been able to listen to music online, but it seems like live shows just have a different raw energy to them than listening to the song over a recording. It's like somewhat different, and what's cool about it Sometimes these bands, these entertainers, they will change up the song for the show. So you'll be able to hear a different version of that song you love, or maybe a brand new version of that same song you know that has never been heard before. Some bands and entertainers I think can do this easier than others. It's very contingent on creative ability, talent, and improvisation, which I think plays a very important role in music for sure. Okay, the live music experience. But they're also an arena where it's easy to be distracted by what someone's wearing, the movements of the band, or the lights. They're all important in helping make the occasion what it is, but dialing them down for a few minutes can enhance your experience of the music. Closing your eyes helps. You can then follow the mindful listening routine already described or sink into the music's texture, richness, subtlety, grittiness, pain, virtuosity, or lyrical prowess. If listening to the music stirs your emotions or thoughts, you can include those inner experiences as an extension of the music and appreciate the practice. Actually, this is my second time moving back to Phoenix and living in Phoenix. I've lived here since 2014 to 2019. And again, just a few days ago was when I moved back. But for a long time, Phoenix was considered an entertainment capital. Like, there were all kinds of shows here. I could just name the different live acts I've seen. Counting Crows, of course, John Mayer, I've seen live. I've seen Chris Brown, I've seen The Night Game, John Legend I've seen. Just all manner of shows and acts. The Piano Guys. Coldplay. Head Full of Dreams tour. That was an amazing tour, by the way. Amazing show. Everyone had bracelets, and they all lit up to reflect the beat of the song. Just so cool and so creative. Listen afresh too. And yeah, sometimes closing your eyes won't do much to drown out the music. Some of the music is extremely powerful and over the speakers extremely loud. Let's see. Okay, I've got little ear plugs, and I just have them on my keychain. But anytime I'm in one of those shows, I can always take out my earplugs and put them in. And that protects my hearing, basically. I would strongly recommend getting yourself earplugs like that, especially if you're near the front row, right by the speakers, in order to protect your hearing. Because you can close your eyes all you want, but yeah, when those speakers are blaring, you're going to hear ringing for sure. Especially if you don't have that protection in. Yeah, you can hear the rain a lot, guys. The storms are brewing for Stormer. Lou Reed. Walk on the Wild Side. Everyone knows this. It's the one with the backing vocals that go. Do 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 do. It's a great track for an exercise in mindful listening because it builds gradually with different instrumental elements dropping in and out. It starts with a single note followed by a succession of pairs of notes on an upright acoustic bass with a gently strumming acoustic guitar behind. And I've never really gotten this in depth in terms of music theory. Some of it I'm savvy about, but some of it Yeah, it's beyond my understanding. At 11 seconds, the drums come in, but played softly with brushes rather than sticks, helping to create a gentle, lilting sound. Reed's lead vocal at 20 seconds comes in, resonant but vulnerable, and crystal clear, allowing you to engage with the story of the song, not just its sound. At 38 seconds, a second bass line followed on an electric bass comes in, adding a slightly mournful note, drops out at 58 seconds before coming back at 1 minute and 10 seconds. Minute and 25 seconds. In response to Reed's lead, those famous female backing vocals make their first appearance just for 15 seconds or so. So fascinating, guys, just listening to some of these songs and understanding some of the creative choices that were made in making the song. It's like, how many times did they rehearse this song, or they practice this song in sessions in order to get this sound? Like, beat is one consideration, but timing's another. And there's all kinds of elements to consider. Like, people often have that joke about Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper. It's like, we need more cowbell. But it's like, someone in the studio had that idea. And hey, it worked. At 1 minute and 45 seconds, a gentle sweeping violin line drifts in, taking its cue from the vocal melody and developing into an instrumental flourish between verses. It goes on like this a while until, at 2 minutes and 35 seconds, the acoustic bass suddenly jumps to a 4-note pattern, just for a few bars, and Lou makes a little yelp between verses. At 3 minutes and 10 seconds, Lou goes full on do 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 do, and the backing singers pick up the refrain. All this time, you can still pick out the two bass lines, the brush drums, and the guitar rhythm. Then, at 3 minutes and 37 seconds, vocals drop and a single soft brush cymbal heralds a baritone sax solo that meanders into the distance as the song fades. The song ends at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Just so many creative choices, again, I say, went into the creation of this song. Let me see if I can describe what we're seeing here. I think I'll start with the right page first because it's going to be easier for me to describe and explain. There are 3 different album covers. They're similar to those record cases. There's one with yellow and red stars and a red ribbon. There's a red one in the middle with yellow circles all around. There's a third record with red and yellow lines up and down. There is a lot of records. The Tremolo's Hello World, and I actively encourage my Storm champion from the Storm Show, please check out some of these bands. Like, some of these songs are absolutely classic. Paul Anka, ANKA, The Cousins, just a few I can read here. Combs. What I can remember, I'll try to add on. Jack Combs, I think. Beats, Marmalade, Hermits, The Best of Brenda Lee, Bobby Rydell, Del Shannon. I don't know if I'll have time to go into all of these songs. Few major ones I can look into, like Lou Reed, Dave D. Dozy, Beaky, Mick, and Tick. Rain and Teach, I think it says. The Four Seasons, The Four Aces, Johnny Holiday. Yeah, it's almost like we're in a record store, guys. With all these records in order, it's almost like a chunk of the past, in a way. Like for the longest time, records were the standard. Like we've had radio for years, and then there was the records, and then the records gave way to, and there might be gaps in my understanding, but they gave way to the cassettes. Cassettes gave way to the CDs, and then eventually everything became digital. And I think that will continue to be the case. A lot of music will exist online in a virtual space. Like people used to buy songs on like iTunes, and nowadays I think a lot of the money generation for songs and for artists comes from the labels, but they also come from the advertising revenue of the songs that are like on YouTube. Oh, tired, guys. Ooh. The ad revenues for these songs, and of course, yeah, a lot of the revenue comes from what I've already referenced or alluded to. Those live shows, ticket sales account for a lot of the revenue generated of artists. I encourage you to support artists you care about. If you see one touring in your town, see if you can get a ticket. Take your friends if you have a need that you can take. Okay, I think we've got maybe 2 more sessions of mindfulness. The note to self and the list of quotes, I believe. Yeah, Mind Over Matter. So Note to Self and Mind Over Matter are our last 2 sessions. And then after that, yeah, we'll be done with our Breathe Mindfulness Special. Begun in San Jose, California, and concluding, it looks like, in Phoenix, Arizona. If you like Carmen San Diego, guys, who knows where I'm going to be next. But, yeah, thank you, my Storm Champions, for watching the show. Thank you for your chat, your views, your donations, your shares. I hope that these readings have helped you much the same way that my parents hoped that this book, this magazine, would help me. Alright, have a nice night. My champions, stay sheltered from the storm. It's raining right now. A lot of thunder and lightning too. Have a nice night. Stormer Show signing off.